I really had this waist tight, didn't I? Have I gained weight in the last 3 days? Whew. What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Taylor Martin. This is the best MEDC, and obviously earlier this week I did a video where I went backpacking, told you guys to go out into the woods and find the box that I hid, but I had a lot of questions even before I went about what I was going to be taking. And I uploaded the video and a lot of you asked what was in the bag, so that's what this video is all about. I'm just going to talk about what I took backpacking. That's pretty much it. So with that said, let's do the damn thing. Trailer has a built-in cup holder. It's quite nice. We'll start with the Crocs. So camp shoes, this should be no surprise to most people who have been backpacking or know anything about it. Crocs are kind of like the shoe to use for camp because they're so lightweight and pretty comfortable. Next time I'm actually gonna bring my Merrell Hydromocs. They're just more comfy and my feet hurt at the end of the day. And something happened to these, I don't know what. They got deformed sometime between Sunday and today, so hopefully if I sit them out in the sun, they'll like fix themselves. I don't know. Next, we'll talk about the bag. I didn't put a lot of thought into the bag, mainly because I knew I wanted something super lightweight and relatively inexpensive. So when I started doing research, this was one of the only options that was like sub $200 or $300 that was also sub 2 pounds. This has an aluminum frame internal that can be removed. It's very, very light. It's like 1.8, 1.9 pounds. And it's pretty comfy. My only complaint is that it's a 40-liter pack, and I think if it were like, I think it's a 40 plus 3. I think if it were like 42, 43 plus 2 or 3 liters, it'd be a little better. I struggled with getting everything in the bag. Weight wasn't so bad. I think my overall weight with food, water, everything, minus camera gear was, I think 27 pounds. I think so. So pretty happy with that. I could shave off a few pounds, I think, but I'm not like ultralight hiking out here. I just wanted to make sure that I started with a bag that was a little limiting because I knew if I had a 60-liter pack, I would put way too much in it and something that was very lightweight. So I went with the Drop Durston collaboration. So I don't think these are made anymore because Drop has stopped focusing on stuff like this, and mainly I think they focus on sneakers and mechanical keyboards or headphones. I don't know. They announced a while back that they're no longer doing EDC stuff, and I don't know if that means that also affects the backpacking gear. But people raved about this backpack, the Drop Durston 40-liter backpack. I had to get the small medium because the large is no longer available. I wish I got the large because it actually has a few extra liters in it, but I got this for $120, so I'm not complaining about that at all. This is a killer bag for $120. I'm sure that if I used this more and got even deeper into backpacking that I could find a few things to complain about, but for the time being, very happy with it. I just wish I had a tiny bit more storage inside. And right here, if you zoom in really close right there, that's really the only problem area. It looks like it's starting to tear right at this little side strap. But the bag, really comfortable, had no complaints with it other than the size. I really like the way it looks and feels. Just wish it was a hair bigger. We'll just start with what I got on the side here. So I'm gonna try to unpack this, obviously in reverse order. I took this with me. This was one of the few splurges that I had, a camping chair. I don't know if I'd bring this again. Half the time I ended up sitting on the ground. If you don't have perfectly level ground, these things are kind of annoying. So it's actually this same style of chair. Same style of chair, same brand, but this is just the ultralight version. So it's smaller and much more lightweight. I think this one's like 2 pounds, 2.5, and this one's like 1.6. So definitely don't need a chair, but it's a nice luxury to have if you've been doing a lot of hiking. I don't know that I'm gonna bring this next time. In the other pocket, I got my trekking poles. These I do have a complaint about. I got these used at REI. These are Black Diamond something, I don't know much about them. The problem is that they're not the right height for me, and I knew that when I bought them. Alpine FLZ, 120 to 140 centimeters. So the reason that these are a bit of a problem is because 120 centimeters, which is the shortest these will go, is my maximum, right? My arm's at a right angle. I cannot make these any shorter, and I should have got something cheap and telescoping rather than this nice fancy tri-fold whatever. Because going downhill, these are great. Going uphill, they're just too tall. Next up, let's talk water, because I kept that on the outside of the pack too. So there are two quick access pouches here on the belt, the hip belt. Water filter that I brought is the Katadyn BeFree 0.6 liter. So you just take this off, dunk this down in the river, fill it up with water, and you can squirt water out of it. I don't have any water, but I still got some in here probably. You can squirt water out really easily. You can drink straight from this, or you can use this to filter into other bottles. I did both. This was great, fantastic, like 40 bucks, worth every penny. And then rather than bring any kind of specialized bottle, I just brought 2 smart water bottles. These are also really, really good because they're cheap everywhere and very durable for what they are. Miscellaneous carabiners. I brought a massive amount of carabiners, not really, like 5 or 6 of them. I also, in the outside pouch here, have my Kindle Paperwhite. This thing is very, very old, and I did do a small amount of reading, so that's something I definitely wanted to bring. In this outside pocket, I just have a neck buff or gaiter. Really, really handy when it got a little chillier, and it's for wiping things, honestly. And I think that's it on the outside, except for the straps. So this other quick access pocket I used for my headlamp, so I could get to it quickly if I needed. The headlamp I brought, which you guys are gonna care about, is an Olight. I brought this because I didn't have many right angle lights, and I wanted something that would be a good standalone flashlight and a headlamp. I couldn't find my Olight head strap because the one that came with this right here was absolute garbage. Sorry, it just was. So they made this new function where you can clip. So this has a clip, I think it's at the office, but it clips to the headlamp strap, and then you could tilt it up and down, which was a nice function, but the way that clip attached to the head strap was with a big Velcro patch, like seriously about this big. Ridiculous, huge, heavy, and just a really, really stupid way to attach a headlamp to a strap. So I stole this from another light that I did a different video on and took the Perun Mini. I actually didn't end up using this light because I brought 2 flashlights. The one I used the absolute most was the i1R2 EOS, just this little itty bitty thing. I mean, that's all you really need. And I had a battery pack because I brought a bunch of camera gear, and you can recharge this thing very quickly and easily. So this might be the only flashlight I take next time. If I don't take this one or this one, most likely I will go one step up and do the full Perun because reasons. I mean, it's heavier, it's bigger, but also much more functional. Also down in this little pouch, I did bring a multi-tool just because I'd rather have one and, you know, carry the weight than not have one. And I brought the SOG PowerPint because I think it's just the best tiny multi-tool. I didn't want some full Leatherman, so SOG PowerPint. I also had the Wazoo Survival Gear Fire Starter Necklace. I can't remember the exact name of this. These things are really cool, and some lip balm. All that stuff because this stuff is stuff I wanted to get to quickly. And I did have another fire starter, a little bit of redundancy here. Didn't think I'd need 2 fire starters, but one I wore around my neck. This one I just wanted to try out because I've not used it a lot. Exotac NanoStriker XL. These were really cool. Very small, compact, lightweight, and very usable. I also used this right here. Obviously I used a GoPro Hero, or not GoPro Hero, a GoPro Max for 360 video, and I had this strapped to my shoulder for most of the trip. And I liked it up here because I could move it up and down, and I could get stuff more in front of me. I could get stuff kind of beside my head. And shoot in all directions and not have to worry about framing. GoPro was, I'd say so-so. The footage, a lot of it was not usable. A lot of it was decent, and most of it was just okay. So yeah, I'm gonna reconsider using the GoPro Max and maybe just shooting with a regular GoPro next time, because the 360 views were nice, but most of the time in all the clips, I'm just looking straight in front of me anyway. Sometimes I would veer off, but for the most part just in front of me, and editing the 360 footage it's not fun to begin with, but when you're hiking with a 360 camera, let's say you're looking this way with the camera, you tell the camera look this way, and it's gonna keep looking that way. What that means is it orients that way, not in front of me. So if I turn, the camera's still facing this way. So if I'm going up and down trails and hiking and turning and stuff, I've got to constantly tell the camera where to look. It was a nightmare. It took me 3 days just to comb through the footage. Never again. Okay, let's get inside the bag before I waste any more time. In the very top, I did not bring this, actually. I threw this in here to talk about the one thing I really wish I had brought, and that is a very, very lightweight air pillow. I have like 6 or 7 different versions of these pillows. Cocoon, I think, makes the best. There's Sea to Summit. I have one of those as well. So what happened was I hiked all day and my neck hurt. I mean, my muscles aren't used to carrying a 30-pound pack up and down a mountain. So first night, my neck was really tight and sore. And Jeff told me not to bring a pillow, which is, I think, fine. He told me to roll up like a shirt and put it in a stuff sack or something. And I think that would have been okay if my neck wasn't as sore. I just couldn't get comfortable all night. Like, my whole body was the most comfortable I think I've ever slept, but my neck wasn't. And if I had just a small pillow like this, I think I would have slept better than I've ever slept. And I'm not joking, hammock camping was so comfortable, and I think the difference maker would have been one of these pillows. So threw this in here because next time I'm 100% taking one of these. 150% taking a pillow. I had a little stuff sack like this for camera gear. There's a bunch of little stuff sacks in here. I'm not gonna open all of them, but what I brought for camera gear is effectively this. So we'll put that to the side. I brought my Sony A7R III with a Tamron 28-75 lens, a Peak Design strap, a bunch of spare batteries, camera, battery charger, and the Rode Video Micro. I will not bring this one again either. It just did not perform well, and this mic, this is the Rode Video Mic Pro, much better, much better. And I had it in this Matador cover. This is really just for dust. It does have a rain fly built into the bottom, but it's mainly for dust. And the other camera gear, I've shown you this, guys. Kept the rest of the camera gear inside this. So I brought the Vanquist Dendrite large. I took the strap off and just clipped it to the bag. Inside here, I kept the GoPro Max when it wasn't in use. I have a little extendable tripod. Ugh, it's too much sand down in this thing. Extendable tripod thing for the GoPro Max. That didn't sound good. So I could use it as a tripod or hold the thing out in front of me. This was small and lightweight enough that I'd do that again. The other thing I wish I'd brought was an actual tripod like that over there. For power, I brought a big power bank, and I thought I was gonna need it. As you can see, I did not use it a whole lot. I charged my phone once, I charged the GoPro once, twice, and I think that's all I charged. So I definitely could have gotten by with a smaller battery, but with all the camera gear and stuff, I'd rather have more battery than not enough. So probably bring that again next time. Just some Death Wish packets. I didn't really keep those in there, but I had a Zippo with the dual torch butane. And what else we got in here? I did bring this on accident, but I had a Fisher Space Pen bullet down in my fanny pack. And then in this front pocket, I kept spare batteries for the GoPro and the Sony, some goodies powders, allergy meds, and I think that's it. Front pouch had a lens cloth, one of these Hanks. That's really all that was in there. And in the very back, I had charging cables. Tried to keep stuff organized and separated, but I had a lightning cable, micro USB, and a USB-C to keep everything charged up. So I'm gonna just pull the rest of the stuff out because I kept everything else inside one big 40-liter dry sack. Waterproof bag from Skogakust. I don't know, some Scandinavian name. I think there's a label right here so you can see it. It'll obviously be linked down below. Skogakust. I guess. But this whole thing will fit down in this little stuff sack. But I used this to keep everything inside my pack dry. We weren't expecting rain, and this does make stuffing or packing the backpack a little more difficult, but it is what it is. Stove, I have the MSR PocketRocket 2 stove kit. I don't know if I'm gonna take this one again or not. Like, I like it, but it does have some limitations, such as we ate out of these. Typically you just heat up water in them and then eat out of other things, but we're trying to save weight. So when I would heat this up, I couldn't pick it up. Even with my gloves on, it was too hot. And I have this one from a long time ago. It's effectively the same thing, but something that Jeff pointed out to me. So with this one, you screw this on just like the other one. So with the PocketRocket 2 stove kit, your pot just sits on top of the PocketRocket. So with this one, you can sit your stove on this, which makes it a little more sturdy. I think this is mostly unnecessary, but does add some stability. But the difference is this locks in. That's one of the big differences. So this is much bigger, it's a little bit heavier, but that right there is super handy, and you can still grab this and move it around because you've got a protective thing there. And when you're done cooking, the killer feature is you can use this handle and hold this even when it's hot. This you can't, and you have to use this thing, which gets very finicky. If you're trying to eat or something, it's very easy to drop this because there's so much more weight. All this is unnecessary for me to tell you, but I'm just saying I'm not sure I'm gonna go with something so minimal next time, and I'd almost rather have the luxury of being able to grab this handle and have the stability of the bigger one. The MSR wind burner, 1 liter. It also can cook a whole lot more at one time. This is like a cup and a half, that's 1 liter. I guess that's why they call it the 1 liter. Next up we have my down jacket. So I bought this for this trip. Didn't end up using it for anything but a pillow. This is the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer 2. So it's a 700 fill down, 850 fill down. Very, very lightweight and warm. Can't wait to actually be able to use this thing, but it was too warm really to use it. I think I might have put it on for like 5 minutes and got too hot. Toiletries, we don't have to dwell on this too long. I've got toilet paper, alcohol wipes, a trowel, and some soap. But the reason I'm opening this up, oh, and a toothbrush. The toothbrush is kind of cool, not gonna lie. So it has these replaceable tips that you can get at REI. They're relatively cost effective. And then at the bottom you store your toothpaste. And this is refillable, so you take off this black cap. This has my toothpaste from home in it. So really a nice little cost-effective way to always have something pretty lightweight with you. I did take this with me, some Coleman soap pads. These are like Listerine strips, but they're soap. So you get them wet and they suds up. Pretty cool. I didn't use these at all because I had alcohol wipes, which also make very, very good fire starters. So these pull double duty. Little super lightweight aluminum camp trowel and some single ply toilet paper. Really living the luxury life out in the woods with this single ply. Wise Owl. This is a Wise Owl rainfly that I did not use one time because the weather was so good. So I'm fortunate, but I would not go without this, I don't think. Jeff didn't even bring one, but I know where we were that the weather can change like that and you can be caught out in some really nasty weather. So I wanted to at least have this with me. Didn't use it, and I feel like it's a good thing. I needed another stuff sack. One of my stuff sacks broke, so this is a dad's fanny bag that they sent to me. Just a little laundry bag or something. I could use something a little better than this, but I just have my different layers in here. We'll go through these real quick. This was my mid-layer long sleeve, a jacket from Target, that All in Motion. This is just one of their like athletic fitness running jackets. The reason I'm mentioning this is because when you put it on, it's got the little thumb loop. Normally I would say this is kind of dorky and I wouldn't use the thumb loop, but I learned something from Jeff out there, and that was the glove, right? I needed to sleep in gloves one night because it was cold. Not super cold. These are obviously very thin gloves, but I wanted my fingers to stop freezing. So put the glove on, and then when you put your sleeve, or your hand through the sleeve, this right here, super cozy. With the glove paired, this is awesome. Without the glove, it looks really emo. So regardless, I really like this mid layer that I got. It was like $10, $12 at Target. Highly recommend it. It's a really, really comfy jacket. Obviously these are the gloves I used too. These are FRDM, but the reason I chose these, yes, they work with a phone, right? So no problems working with a phone with the tips down, but you can also pull the tips back on your index and your thumb, and you know, if you're doing fine work or something, you can keep your gloves on. My long sleeve base layer was just this quarter or 3/4 zip. I think it's actually a 1/4 zip, half zip, I don't know. It's a Under Armour, very thin, like an athletic shirt. That was my long sleeve base layer that I mostly just slept in. And then I have these cold proof long johns. These things are awesome, but they burn me up. It wasn't quite hot enough. They're merino wool, or a merino wool blend on the inside and 100% polyester on the outside. Very, very nice. And then this was the toboggan I used. Minus 33. It's all merino wool. Very, very comfy and cozy. Kept my food in just one of these stuff sacks. I won't talk about the food. If you guys are interested, I'll list all the food in my meal plan that I took down below. But the two things left is this. So this is from the same company that makes the bottle for the Katadyn water filter. It's Hydro Pack. And I have my whiskey in here. I took some Elijah Craig small batch and not too bad, but I did have to learn how to drink whiskey out of this because the first time I used it, it doesn't pour. There's no pouring option out of this. So I opened it up and I squeezed it and shot whiskey to the back of my throat and about killed myself. So beware. But this is just a seasoning, like it's a film can basically, but it's divided in 3 sections, and then on the bottom you have shakers. Pretty cool option. That is how I seasoned my steak before I cooked it on the fire, or on the stone. Not on the fire, on the stone. All right, we're getting really close to the end. Hammock. So this is the entire hammock setup. Super compact, super compact. So first we're gonna talk about, oh, there's the Olight charger that I took. So I did bring a charger because Olight came out with these recently. It's a USB-C charger, magnetic, and it just sticks to the bottom of the light. I think I got another one right here, yeah. So it just sticks to the bottom and you can plug this into USB-C. So I could have charged my Olight without having to bring another cord. Just bring this and attach it to a keychain or something. I don't know what was in the hammock bag, but these. So I 3D printed these. These are called Loop Aliens. Pretty sure these are knockoff Loop Aliens, but I needed something really quickly. And the 3D ones, they burned up. So if you pulled the cord and cinched, it would just tear through the PLA. So couldn't use the 3D printed ones. I ordered some aluminum ones that had Prime shipping. This was my Ridgeline with some 80-pound test micro cord, and I mainly just used this to hang up my gear while I was sleeping. These Loop Aliens are really cool. If you guys want like a quick and dirty video on how they work, I can show you that at another time. Really, really cool little pieces of hardware. The whoopee straps, or whoopee slings that I got were from Hummingbird, same brand as the hammock. And this is Spectra cord. This is 1,500-pound test. This cord is amazing, and it's really cool how these work because it's like a Chinese finger trap. So this end obviously goes around the tree. You loop it around itself, and then you attach the hammock to this end. But to adjust the length, you just connect your hammock, grab this bead, and pull, and it slips. This is run through itself, and it's just able to slip back and forth freely. But as soon as you put any tension on this side of the line, it locks down and it will not slip. I could put all the force I have into that and it will not slip. It's 1,500-pound test too. So a really cool and quick way to hang a hammock. Really neat. And the hammock, Hummingbird hammock, the really cool thing about this is you don't need any additional hardware. No carabiners or anything. It has a button clasp. So you take the loop end of your whoopee strap, make it shorter so it's easier to see. Take the loop end, you attach your hammock around and button it. And you have 1,500-pound test on both sides. It's not going anywhere, and you can just quickly adjust the length. Really, really cool. And this hammock, look at this, 5.2 ounces, max load 300 pounds. It's made out of parachute fabric, and it is super strong, really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very wary of it at first. Every time I sit down in it, I'm a little wary because I'm being held up by like a 1/4 inch diameter rope and something that is honestly, truly thinner than paper. But it works. And it kept me cozy all night. It didn't break on me. But I'm very happy with it. The only thing I wish I'd done is get the double version of that because I'm kind of a wide dude. Got a wide shoulder, like the width of my shoulders are pretty wide, and I could not lay at an angle. I had to lay in line with the hammock, which not exactly ideal. Okay, last two things inside, actually last two things period, are right here. So I have this sleeping bag, which I talked about in the last video. This is a Kelty Lightyear 15, I think is the name of it. Gotta figure out where it is on here. Right there. Lightyear 15 by Kelty. I don't know where the Kelty label is. It's somewhere. Doesn't really matter. This is discontinued. They do not make this bag anymore. I found it for a killer deal at an Army surplus store in Mount Airy years ago. We were there. I saw it hanging up, and I'm like, a 15-degree down bag for like $100. I don't care if, like, I'm buying it. So I did, and this thing has been a lifesaver. There's the Kelty tag. But yeah, I really like this bag. I use this in the hammock by putting my feet in the foot box and turning it upside down and holding it over me. So if I want, I can kind of put the hood up beside my face. It kept me very, very warm. And the way that I don't use a stuff sack for it either because it compresses a lot better into the bag. But I also do the same thing with the underquilt, which I have stuffed into the sleeping bag. The underquilt is from Outdoor Vitals. This is the Stormloft 30. So also down, this is more of like a summer bag, I guess. I mean, 30 degrees is pretty cool. All I really know, here's the tag, Stormloft down underquilt, 30 degrees long. So all I know is that I stayed very, very warm, almost too warm even when it got pretty cold out there. So yeah, but that's the gear I took. I think that's everything. Oh, almost forgot, because you guys I literally, genuinely almost forgot this. The knife I took with me was the Reeve Umnumzaan. I really debated a lot over what knife to take, and I had it down to 4 knives. The Inkosi, Umnumzaan, TRM Atom, or the Bradford Guardian 3. I really kind of wanted to take a fixed blade, but then decided that the Umnumzaan was a better choice for backpacking. Not sure why, I just felt like it was. The Garmin Instinct Solar that I got from the REI video, this thing was great. It tracked all 3 hikes on one single charge, and I had like 13 days left on the battery when I got out of the woods. So really, really handy. If I'd brought like an Apple Watch and tried to track my hike, I would have had to charge it every night. So this right here, I think, is the best hiking outdoor watch, period, bar none. And I've only tried a couple, but I feel pretty confident in saying that because I charged this thing yesterday, and I have 28 days left in the battery, and it's solar powered. So if you're outside a lot, that will extend it even further. So there you go. I think that's everything that I took backpacking, unless you guys care about the boots. There's some old Vasque boots that I've had for a long time, very comfy. And the pants that I wore were some old Craghoppers that are way too big for me now. I don't guess you guys care too much about that, but yeah, that's it. I think that's all. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the backpacking stuff because it's not going anywhere. We're going again in October, and well, this month now. By the time you see this, it will be like October. So we're going again in a few weeks, and next time I think we're hiding a knife in the woods. So yeah, you guys are gonna have to go out and find a knife. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe to see more stuff like this in the future if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. If you want to support what I'm doing here, all of the stuff that I took with me, literally everything, will be linked down below. Most of those are affiliate links. You can also go to patreon.com/bestmedc to support there, or bestmedc.com where you can buy gear and merch directly from me. Also, be sure to follow us around the web. You can find us in most places at bestmedc. But with that said, and until next time, carry on.